Jabs, what are your thoughts, your initial thoughts on how they fit? I'll let you start this one.
On they fit. Okay, so after watching last night's game, where it was Harden's first game with that, I thought the chemistry between Harden and KD was amazing. I don't know if you guys saw it.
They did play together in OKC. So.
KD did want him coming in, to be fair, as well, yeah.
It looked like Harden knew that he is not the main scorer on that team. Like, he was happily giving KD the ball as he dribbled up the court. He'd check it up, pass KD the ball once they pass half court, let KD work and shit like that. And I think, like, in my opinion, with what they do now is potentially get rid of Kyrie, because he's not really going to provide much more to that offense compared to what they're doing now anyways. He's going to be another ball-dominant player, taken away from Harden.
Okay, yeah.
Get rid of Kyrie.
I think Harden is the better playmaker. We can all say that.
Kyrie.
So you know what, Rory? You know, no, let him speak, because I don't necessarily disagree, but I don't necessarily agree either. Like,
no. Can I just say one thing? I'll let you talk, but I just want to say one quick thing.
No, go on.
Yeah, I will. I just want to say one quick thing. Is who the fuck would take Kyrie on?
Yeah, I know.
Who would trade for Kyrie? I like your thinking of it, but what GM in their right mind's like, yeah, okay, he's missed the last however many games due to personal reasons, was breaking a lockdown COVID protocol. But he still wants to be paid his $33 million a year. Yeah, go on. Yeah, we'll trade our stars for him.
I mean, you forget he's still the most skilled player in the league, one of the most skilled players in the league offensively.
Yeah. When he plays, though. He ain't played.
Yeah, that's what.
He's the best skilled player. When he plays, he ain't played.
Dude, this is the thing. I'm not going to lie. At the minute, me and Kyrie are on the same skill level on the court, to be honest.
In the last 2 weeks, I've scored as many points as he has in the NBA. Do you know what I mean? Like, where's my 33 mil? Like, come on.
Bro, just give me 33k. Just give me 33 pounds.
No,
I'll take
a 10-day contract. Just
I think like, obviously Kyrie's like one of my favorite players in the league, but I think he doesn't belong in the Nets right now. Like, he doesn't bring anything to them really compared to what they've already got.
If they need to succeed, Kyrie needs to be the guy that's maybe,
he has to go
16 to average. I never thought we'd get an Arsenal fan TV quote on our basketball podcast. Yeah, I think if Kyrie's willing to be that guy, as an average 16 to 18 points a game, at stretches in the game, have to just stand in the corner and catch his
he loves his stats though, doesn't he? I think that's the problem. Is like
he's a bit of a stats chaser.
He does. Yeah, that's the thing. He loves it, and he did obviously leave the Cavs.
He didn't want to be LeBron's shadow. He didn't want to be.
And that's what he got to be doing the Nets.
Got his own team.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, I see a lot of people say about it, because obviously he was giving it the whole, I don't want to be Robin, I want to be Batman or whatever. Yeah,
they're good enough to be Batman. You can't build a.
And he is now on a team, and I know a lot of people have said it, so I agree with them. He's just on a team where he is now the third. You know what I mean? He's the third best player. Yeah, like, and don't get me wrong, he is good. Like, he does. The thing is he'll shoot better. He'll generally shoot better than, say, James Harden. He'll get more point, but he doesn't take as many shots. Same with the free throws.
That's the thing. Percentage-wise, he'll look better, but James Harden shoots way more than Kyrie does. And I think Kyrie. To be fair, the only issue I've got is I think we need to address it. The big elephant in the room, or the elephant in the court for them, defensively. What the fuck? No, it's defensively. They can't like, let's be honest. KD is a good defender, not a great defender. He can guard he could guard 3s and 4s, maybe the odd 5 if the other team's playing small. James Harden is a good defender when he's locked in, but you've seen obviously there's been the memes and all that where he literally watches people drive past him. Kyrie is apart from when they did win the title, he did lock down Steph for a couple of games. I'll be honest, but apart from that, I've never been like, oh, that was good defense by Kyrie. And if you're playing defense 3 games of your entire career, you're not a good defender. DeAndre Jordan is like the best defender on their team. And DeAndre Jordan is nothing to what he used to. He's not nowhere near the Lob City DeAndre Jordan that when they were in, obviously, when he was in the Clippers. He's only there. He
still adds the value to the team.
He adds a bit of value for them. Like, he'll catch lobs, he'll block a shot.
Oh, no. Did you see last night's game? He was missing fucking wide open layups. I don't know.
He only had like 4 points or something like that. Yeah,
he missed that wide open fucking floater, and I was like,
as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm aware as well, he's their only true centre that is on there. They've got the big man that Nick Claxton, I think his name is, who's exactly.
You've got the lockdown defender, Joe Harris.
Joe Harris, like, what a player. No, I think Joe Harris is going to be big for them because he can hit like 40% of his threes. Like, I'm not going to...
Oh, he's shooting like nearly damn near 50% from free. He's fucking amazing.
In this team, he's got so many open looks. And I think Joe Harris is going to be the guy. I think he's going to be very important to their offense, especially if he's hitting his threes at a very decent level, you're going to be forced. You can't double then any of the stars. So if you can't double any of the stars, all three of them are going to score on you. And but as I said earlier on when we were talking about the trade, actually, is they've got a few minimum contracts spots. They've got Andre Roberson. Andre Roberson is a free agent. Obviously, has only played 7 games in the last 2 years due to quite a serious, I think it was a knee injury, but it was quite bad. But when he came back in the league, he's literally like a 25% 3-point shooter, and that's wide open shots. Like,
his defense.
But will lock, and it's 6'7", can guard 1 through 4, no problem. You sign him on a minimum deal, bring Joe Harris off the bench, you start Roberson, give him 25 minutes a game. He doesn't need to score. You could literally hit him in the corner. He'll hit, the odd corner 3. So, like, you can't leave him wide open. In the playoffs, they will. In the playoffs, they will leave him wide open because obviously you've got. But I just think has played a year or 2 with KD in it when they were both in OKC. Has shown that he can fit well with stars because obviously he's played with Westbrook. Has played a little bit, obviously not that much with Chris Paul. And he played like 7 games, I believe, in a couple of playoff games with Chris Paul. But can play with stars, accepts his role, is a decent rebounder actually for a wing player. And if he can just work on his 3-pointer, just get it up to like 30% where you can't leave him wide open. He could definitely be a dangerous player to bring in. And I just think bringing a player like that in, because obviously they've got no defense. So a player that's just known for playing defense, I think is perfect for them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It is the lack of defense for them.
See, I think that's where the Kyrie trade comes in. I know obviously you said he's got no real trade value right now.
Yeah.
With all the bullshit.
You'll get a second-round pick for Kyrie.
But it's like people will still trade for him. He is still top 5 point guards in the league. Obviously, with everything's going on, if he proves like in the next couple of games he does come back, still does what Kyrie Irving does, gets his 25 a game or whatever.
That's it, but we can only work off. We can only work off what we know, and what we know is that he's. And
the big part of what you were just saying, Jamed, you said if. Like if you're a championship team and you're a win now team, if can't be a word you use. Like it has to be. We are going to win. And
but I think
if this clicks, sorry, I just one more quick.
Oh no, that's my bad.
If they click offensively and they can sacrifice, they'll play defense and stuff. These guys will be the best offensive team I think that have ever played the game.
Yeah. Of all time. You've got 3 of the most skilled scorers of all time.
Any of the Golden State Warriors team, even with KD, I think they're better offensively than that team. I think they offer more like playmaking. You've got 3 guys that can play make. I know that the Warriors did as well. The only comparison I have to the best offensive team is the Warriors team with KD. But I just think if this team can click offensively and can all the guys buy in, if they can maybe sign an Andre Roberson type player and bring Joe Harris off the bench, makes them a little bit deeper. Maybe then they can bring another big off the bench and sign a big on a minimum deal that can maybe, not maybe a big that's going to play every game, but a big that if you need them, can give you a couple of minutes off the bench, like catch a few lobs, be clogging up the paint, blocking shots sort of vibe. Because I'm seeing that, let's say they make the finals and let's say this probably won't happen, but let's say the Denver Nuggets make the finals. Jokic is like, yes, sir, I'm scoring 40, getting 20 rebounds and 20 assists, and there's nothing you can do about it. 20 assists probably pushing it, but you know what I mean? Like, Jokic is like, I'm doing what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it. Like he's licking his lips. Even like, I'll be honest, even if the Lakers make the finals, Marc Gasol's like, yeah, let's go. Get 10 points this time, not the usual 4 I get. Like,
no, because
Anthony Davis is like, yes, let's go. LeBron's like, I'm getting to the basket whenever I want. Like,
that's what I mean. If the Lakers make the finals, like the Lakers are not going to make the finals. I would bet money. I would put money on them. But then this brings it up with
I wonder who you've got to win the title then in your end of year prediction. Wonder who you've got.
Me, you're not. Fuck it. Anyway, So, like, with the Nets, it will be good. I mean, people do expect a lot. Like, you do need star power. Like, but then there is the argument of chemistry. You do need star power.
Yeah.
There have big threes before have been here and there. Obviously, you had Miami, and like you said earlier, even about the Celtics. And, like, it can be quite strong. But like you say, you need someone to take the back step. Now, KD, obviously, he'll just score. Like, he can't help it. But he doesn't need that kind of dominant
I'm not worried about.
Yeah, like he's going to be solid.
He can play off the ball. He's proved that he can spark. He'll come off curls. He can play a little pick and pop game with a guard.
Yeah, last night you got 42 points, 5 assists, and like and this is what I mean. It is for him. It's like work.
He's doing that. He's like 10 games back after a ruptured Achilles. He's only played 10 games back, ruptured Achilles, averaging just under 30 a game. Like, but that's once he gets into his full rhythm, he's going to be dirty.
I love him, and I love him and James Harden. I love them. You know what I mean? Like I said, the worry with Kyrie is then him and James Harden and that kind of dominance because, like I said before, but with the
Nets
defense,
haven't got a great record at the minute. They haven't got a great record. They're what? I think they're 8-6. It's not a league record. They're like fifth. I think they're like fifth. I think the Pacers have a better record right now.
No, I reckon now they'll pick up. Now they'll pick up.
They'll pick it up. I have no doubt in my mind. I'll be honest. It wouldn't shock me if they finish second to Milwaukee in the East. That wouldn't surprise me. But they obviously now the.
You got Milwaukee over Boston. I got Boston finishing first.
No, I've got Milwaukee. Boston. I think need another year, maybe 2, to just kind of mature a little bit because they're very young. They're stars. They got stars, but they're very young stars. And I just got one more thing is I think the mistake that the Nets made before even making this trade is, I think as much as it's how it hurts me as a Raptors fan and a honorary Canadian, Steve Nash was a bad signing as head coach. He's not the right fit. He's not a guy that's gonna when Kyrie goes off and wanders off. He's not the guy that's gonna chase up Kyrie and be like, "What are you doing?" Like in interviews when they were like, "Have you?" So what's the situation with Kyrie? He's like, "I don't know." He didn't really seem like he gave that much of a shit.
I like I said, bro, I don't know how much I'm looking at Kyrie and going, oh, they need him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
they don't. They don't.
Like I say, he's seeming at the minute off of what we know now, especially with the kind of roles considered. He's looking to me like, obviously he's going to get points. Like, he's a quality player. Like, but he's
a liability chaser. A bit of a stat chaser.
I want to say I was going to say he was a liability, but I don't want to talk that low of him as a.
Mate, say
just
it
a little bit. I think he will turn out to be. I think he'll just be a pain in the arse more than anything.
I see some. I do see some behind the scenes issues with that team. I think that I just don't see that team gelling out terribly well.
At the start of the season, they did better.
They did well. Yeah, they did. They did better when they scored like 130 points was coming without KD.
They did better with Spencer Dinwiddie than they did with Kyrie.
Yeah, but then
Dinwiddie tore his ACL. That's I feel bad. I think that's his second torn ACL.
Do they still have him?
He's still on their books, but they
might as well not be.
If he comes back. If he comes back,
he can leave at the end of the season though. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's got a player option after this year.
I reckon he'll stay because he's got a championship team waiting for him.
Yeah, I think it'd be good if he didn't get signed. But I quickly want to talk about. Do you guys have many more points about the?
I just want to say, I just think Steve Nash. Just to elaborate a bit more, I think Steve Nash was just a bad signing because Steve Nash, the only other coaching experience he's really had. He was like a development guy for the Warriors like 2 years ago when KD was there and with Curry. All he did was obviously it's good to have him as a development guy because obviously he's one of the greatest minds in basketball ever did it. One of the great top 3 passers in my opinion of all time. Like unbelievable, a 2-time MVP, great player. And but I think as his first head coaching job to come into that situation, I just think it's a bad. Like Sean Marks, I think he's the exec or GM.
You think you want someone else with a bit more?
He should have hired someone. But obviously this never happened. But he should have hired someone a bit more like a Coach Pop sort of vibe. Obviously Pop would never leave the Spurs, but someone of that sort of vibe. That if Kyrie's for example, Kyrie comes back, he's going straight back into the team. Maybe they'll put his minutes down a little bit just so because he hasn't played in a while. But Coach Pop, I've got no doubt in my mind. If Coach Pop's coaching that team, they bring back Kyrie, you're coming off the bench. I don't give a shit.
I mean, I'm not so sure that he is going to be straight back into the lineup and he's going to be.
He will be.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
There's no way you don't put a player like. But I think with you saying they don't need Kyrie, you said earlier, I think they don't need him to come out the East. They need him to win the title, I think.
But then when you've got James Harden, who's such a he's like number one in fucking ISO clutch situations. I feel
how's he been in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's true.
There's been a good regular season player, but he's never performed terribly well in the playoffs. Like obviously injuries impact this. But
I mean, it's not.
They should have beaten the Warriors that year. They should have beaten the Warriors. It's not like he drops off. No, he's not. He's not like a massive drop off guy, but
he just doesn't. He doesn't improve.
But the good coaches in the league are obviously with the coaches that are going to get further on in the playoffs. The good coaches in the league, like you've got your Doc Rivers in the East, you've got your Brad Stevens for the Celtics sort of vibes. But after 2 games, they're going to figure out how to like stop Harden from scoring because teams have done it. They've been like, right, Harden, we'll live with the fact that you'll score 40 a game, but no one else in your team will get above 10, and they'll just be standing in the corner the entire game. And it's like, yeah, go on, then you chuck up 30 shots a game. Go ahead. You'll still lose by 40. Do you know what I mean? And that has happened in the past. But
you can't do that with KD. You can't do that with KD on the team. That's the thing. When you've got KD who's going to drop another 40 there, then you've got to respect.
But then that's 80 between them. Where are you getting teams nowadays that routinely scoring 120?
Well, that's it. Most of the average, I think there's only one team averaging or 2 teams averaging below 100 points a game. But ultimately, like I say, I think... oh, fuck it, I forgot. I don't know what I was going to say. I don't know what the fuck I was just about to say. Sorry, go on, Jabed.
What the fuck was I saying?
Nothing. You weren't saying anything.
Yeah, I was saying James Harden is Spice Adams.
Spice?
Do you know Spice Adams?
Do you have any more? I like the name. We keep coming to a stalemate here. Chaps, do you want to tell us? Do you have any last thoughts about Brooklyn coming together?
I'm finished with the Nets.
Okay, should we move on to
I was just wary too. I just wanted to say one more thing about the Nets. We won't discuss it so that we can move on. No, we're not waffling too much. I think one thing, again, it's not the be all end all for him, but I feel like you can completely disregard James Harden's ability for steals and for catching loose balls. Even I just think that's quite an important point. Like I think it was thirds. You know what I mean? Loose balls and top of the field. But yeah, I just think that it's just a thought anyway.
I'll just be honest. I'm not sold of that team until I see them play.
Yeah, it's one of those like on paper. There's some good things here and there, but in real life, it's.
And I'll be honest. I hope for James Harden's sake that they are good and they can at least get him a title, because I do think he I wouldn't say necessarily deserves one, because I think he's been a little bit selfish in his career at times. But it would be nice to see him get one. I think he's that kind of a player. It would be very disappointing if he went his whole career and didn't win anything.
Yeah.